Hi guys, my name is Ray and welcome to my revision blogs. This week, this week's blog, this last 2 weeks blog, I am going to be focusing on rewriting my prologue and my first three chapters of my novel, which are uh, one of the few that the first chapter needs a lot of things like expanded, and the second and third chapter needs a couple scenes that I'm going to be adding, and the prologue also need uh, that I develop a couple of ideas a little bit better. So I'm gonna be working on that this blog. I'm gonna be doing the prologue and the first chapter during the first week, and the other two chapters during the second week. That aside, I'm obviously going to be showing you and talking about that when I do the closing. But this blog mostly is going to be me talking about the 10 finger pitch and what it is and how to use it, how do you do each finger, and I'm going to be giving you an example following my own project, which is Project Prophecy, as well as like giving you all of the information that you need in case that you want to use this tool to work on your own idea, because I find it really helpful when you don't follow like a strict form to your novel. A little bit, you're working a little bit on more of a free form. I think that all of us in the back of our heads have like the three acts arc, where you have like a beginning, a middle where the tension grows, and then the resolution, and then just like a calm down, which is like a very normal structure to follow and a very like structure that works in, I wanna say, 90% of the stories. But I never have been like, I wanna do this is my first act, this is my second act, and this is my third act. I just outline and work on my story how it feels natural, and the way that I make sure that my story is telling what I wanted to tell is this 10 finger pitch, which is, I have my notes and I'm gonna be reading from it, and I'm gonna be leaving you here the example um, with my own story for each of the fingers, which in this case, in this blog, I'm just going to be showing you the first five fingers, which is just very basic concepts on your story and very basic um, things that you need to know before you start. Because the other hand, the other five fingers talk about more detailed stuff that could be considered spoilers, but I'm gonna be like in my case because I'm writing already a book. But I'm gonna be trying my best to give you examples that doesn't ruin the entire story. Okay, so first of all, where did I get this tool, or what is where did I found this tool? Back in 2016, I was doing the most. I was doing the most when it came to uh, online courses. I was taking a million online courses. I don't know why, because in 2016 I was still in college, so I had enough of that. But That's a lie. I graduated in 2014. Oh my god, no, in 2015. It doesn't matter. In 2016, I was doing the most. So there's a site called futurelearn.com where back in the day, most of their courses were completely free. You only needed to pay if you wanted your diploma. And because I was doing all these things for fun, I never paid for any certification or anything. Nowadays, because I checked before hunting for my notes, uh, now you have to pay. It's a pay site. I don't know how expensive it is. You can pay per course or you can pay like a premium subscription and you have access to like everything. But back in 2016, it used to be like completely free. So all of this information comes from the course on introduction an introduction to screenwriting by the University of East Anglia, which I think is from the UK. I'm not really sure, but it's I really liked it. It's very good. It's a very basic introduction to screenwriting, but it gives you a lot of great tools that could be applied to any form of storytelling. So if you have the opportunity and if you want to take it, again, futurelearn.com. I've never had issues with them back in the day. I'm talking about 9 years ago. So I don't know. I don't know nowadays, but 9 years ago it was good. I expect or hope that they have updated their courses in the last 9 years, but I know that this particular course it's still on their catalog. I don't know if the content of the course is the same. Again, I didn't pay, so I didn't check out the curriculum that they're using now, but I would hope that they have updated the course in the last 9 years. But anyway, let's get to what is the 10 finger pitch. And it's a basic tool to help us develop a basic storyline. It helps to bring out the most important parts of your story and to make the pitching, or in this case, the blurb process a little bit easier. When I took this course, they like literally made us do like a drawing or on of our hands on a piece of paper and then fill every single part on the corresponding finger. I think that you can just do it like in a notebook, just write like which whatever each part is. But if you wanna make your hand and actually fill out like the fingers, you can do it. That's completely fine. But anyway, the first finger is the pinky finger, which is where we are going to write the genre of our story and as well as any pertinent information on the format. And this means is the book, or is this a book? Is the and if it is a book, is it a novel? Is it a novella? Is it a short story? If it is a screenplay, if it is a screenplay, is this a movie? Is this a TV show, or is this like uh, like for theater? All of these things you need to write on your pinky finger. Sorry. In my case, my book is a religious horror novella, which means that it's not quite as big as a novel, and it is my genre is horror, and my subgenre is religious or religion horror. In my case, we follow with our ring finger, where we are going to write our main character or characters. I don't know how many you guys have, and a quick general description of them: age, gender, occupation, and all of these things that might not all of them be relevant to your story, but sometimes it's important to know them because sometimes these things do influence how our character will behave within the story. So our ring finger is going to be our character. In my case, one main character. Her name is Gracie. She is a nun in her late 20s, and she is Mexican. She's from Mexico. My entire story takes place in Mexico. Uh, and her occupation obviously is a nun, but within the convent, she is a teacher, and she is again on her late 20s. She has a lot of trauma, and she is mostly a little bit of how do I say that? She's a little bit of a rebel, and she's a little bit hot-headed sometimes. And this is like a very short and general description of my character. So again, just like to know that you have the idea of what your character is and how they will be influenced by your story. The middle finger, which is going to give us the goal of our main characters. What do they want? What do they need to do? What is going to happen, or what do they want to happen within the context of our story? So the middle finger, I'm gonna do it backwards, so I'm not flipping you guys up. I'm gonna be flipping up my bookshelf. In my case, her goal is to protect the children within this new orphanage that she just started working at, or she just got like transferred there. So that's her only goal right now. At the beginning of the story and throughout the story, her goal is to protect these children. Is our index finger that will describe the obstacles that they face, what is getting in the way of the goals for our main character. Now, your index finger is going to be obstacles. And in my case, the obstacles that Gracie faces are the higher ups within the church, like the priest in charge of the orphanage, the nuns that are above her, um, that are also in charge of the orphanage, and at one point of the story, the cardinals that the Vatican sends to this orphanage are also some of the obstacles that she's going to face because they are on a witch hunt in a way that is going to involve hurting the children. So this is a very clear obstacle for her, and that is going to be what keeps getting in her way throughout the entire story, all the way to the resolution. The thumb is my favorite one. Is going to give us the why do you love the story and what sets it apart from the rest, which a lot of the time is one in the same. What drove us to write the story is what will set them apart. So the thumb is what do you write, what do you love about the story, and what sets the story apart from others within the genre. In my case, I love the simplicity of my story, and but even if within that simple storyline, I love how these characters are fearless and are they don't give up and they keep on trying to jump the obstacles and get to the end. I love how she doesn't give up and how devoted she is to the children. That is one thing that I adore about her character. I love the fact that I put an interesting spin, what I would think is an interesting spin on the Antichrist concept that has been done many times. And even if I'm not focusing on the Antichrist itself, I think it's an interesting twist to the stories that we know or that we've read or seen before. I think for me, that's what has been driving me to finish the story and to get it to the end stages, just because I think that is very interesting and it's very, in parts, it's very fun. And there are certain relationships that in my mind I've been developing, but they're not even gonna make it to like the actual page because they are simply not. Uh, relevant to this story, but like in my head, I have like years down the line and things that happen outside of the page that I also really love. But again, they're not relevant to this point. But yeah, those are our first five fingers, and this is like we will see more on the next video when we have the other five fingers, how this is going to help us have already like a summary of important information and important points that will help us build our pitch or blurb that will get us to sell this story. Whether you're looking for an agent or you are going to self publish, you will need a blurb and you will need this pitch of your story because you need to get people to read your story. You need to get people interested in your story. So this is an easy way. I consider an easy way to extract your main points and construct this blurb. So the end of next video, we are going to be hearing my first ever blurb, and obviously I'll take any criticisms on it, but that's gonna be on next in a couple of weeks from now. And yeah, for now this is it. I will leave this here, and I will meet you guys probably in a few seconds for you, or in a couple of minutes for you, with my feelings on revisions for these last 2 weeks. And yeah, I hope you guys got something that you needed out of this part of the video, which is, I hope you did not hear my wrist crack. But I hope you guys got something that you needed out of this first part of the 10 finger pitch. And yeah, I'll be seeing you in a bit. Hi, welcome to the end of the blog. These 2 weeks, as you saw, I've been officially rewriting and revising, which what I did was I mostly um, took out my printed pages with my notes and everything, and I started a blank document and I just started rewriting everything. Some things have stayed the same, some things have completely changed. So far, I've done the prologue and 3 chapters. My goal is to do 2 chapters per week. That way, I will be done by December 21st, which is my deadline for the second draft. And honestly, I am already liking draft 2 a lot more than I'm liking draft that I liked. Draft 1. A lot of things have make more sense, or they hit a little bit different because I've added a lot of stuff. So far, the draft has grown 2,000 words, 2,000 and something words. So that's very, I will say it's good because I really like it. And yeah, I think if it keeps growing like this, the I might reach 40,000 words by the end of draft 2. Who knows? I don't know. And yeah, so yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. I've been taking things slowly, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of just, sitting and being with these characters for a while I trying to change the perspective of the scenes, or while I try to figure out what works best. But so far, I been having so much fun, and I really, really, really like it. So yeah, I think those are all of my feelings for this blog. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys learned something from the five finger pitch. And I'll be seeing you guys in 2 weeks for the left hand, which is the next five fingers. And hopefully, we'll have a blurb for our book, for my book.